Welcome, guys. Today we're going to be talking about latex.
Say what?
Yeah, you heard me right. Latex. Before we get started with the video, guys, as you know, on our channel, we support our veterans. Veterans is a place for you here, and there's a number in the description if you're having difficulty getting by. We love you and we respect you. So, guys, we're talking about latex. These guys. Yeah, gloves. What did you think I was talking about? Get your mind out of the gutters, boys. So, you say to yourself, why in the world am I wearing latex gloves? Why am I showing you latex gloves on the Sword and Knife channel? What I try to do, have a knife day. What I try to do is try to share information regarding what I do to maintain my swords, how I sharpen my swords, and also the different things that I have come about to using while I'm maintaining my swords. And I think latex gloves, when you're maintaining your sword and you're reviewing your sword and you're handling your sword, is a great way to go. Now, as you know, if you guys know swords and you know what swords are made out of, they're made out of a high carbon steel. Now, see how I can see that? You get where I'm going here? I can basically just handle the sword, the blade barehanded. High carbon steel, which can rust. And I don't know if a lot of you don't know, your actual fingerprints, okay, your fingers, okay, your finger staining on the carbon steel, if obviously you can wipe it down, but they can actually rust your blade overnight sometimes if you have enough like oily residue on your fingers that you leave on the blade without wiping it down. Now, yes, you can wipe down the blade, but you know, you could also miss a spot and have a fingerprint somewhere, and then you could end up, you know, a couple days later, whatever it is, find some rust spots. So what I like to do is wear gloves when I'm reviewing the sword, also when I'm taking apart a sword. You'll notice when I was working with the Huawei sword, when I was working with the Nakago or the Tang, where you're not really wiping down the Tang. So all of the times that you're touching the Tang or you're touching the Nakago, though your fingerprints can leave some residue and can rust the Tang or the Nakago of the blade. So whenever I'm working on a sword or I'm working on taking it apart or maintaining it or cleaning it after a cutting session, I always try to wear gloves, okay, especially when I'm handling the Tang of the sword, which really does not get wiped down. And unlike others, I really don't want to see the Nakago get rusted, especially if it's such a fine job. An amazing job, the way they did, the care that they put into making the Nakago on the Huawei. So I use gloves basically to handle the sword. Now, these particular gloves, you ask, you know, why am I wearing orange gloves? These particular gloves have like a real, they're heavy duty model. This company called Unisafe is where I got these gloves from. I'm going to show you the boxes and all the rest of the stuff. These particular gloves are heavy duty gloves, very, very strong. I mean, I stuck a screwdriver in there and I stretched it out. It's got a very good elastic breaking point, a high breaking point, okay, in terms of the elastic. It's also got a really nice textured grip. I don't know if you can catch it on the camera. Believe me, it's got a textured grip, so you feel like you have grip over the blades. Now, what I like also when I'm reviewing a sword, I always oil up my swords. I always store my swords oiled and all that. So rather than having to touch your sword up and then having to go wipe it down and re-oil it again, I can leave the oil that I put on the blade while I'm doing a review, and I can just kind of put it away. I don't have to worry about my fingerprints on the blade. I don't have to worry about keep on reapplying the oil over and over again, especially if it's something quick where I'm just taking out, inspecting the blade or something like that. So yes, latex gloves are definitely a recommended item for you to you know, review your swords, inspect your swords, maintain your swords, clean your swords, and also doing sharpening. When you're doing sharpening, I feel like when I'm holding the blade doing sharpening, I also have a lot better grip on the blade while I'm doing the sharpening, especially because it has that texture on the glove. And these are really, you know, very well-made gloves, guys. They're not like your five and dime type of gloves that you get from the corner store. These are really high quality industrial use gloves. Now the gloves, I mean, this is a sword channel, so I'm telling you what I use my gloves with, but these gloves are also made for pretty much all of the manly dirty jobs that you're going to be encountering. Okay, all of the if you're working on as a plumber, or if you're working on dirty drains, or if you're working with like greasy tools or something like that, and you know, you're getting your hands like all full of grease and all that. But you know, other people will say, you know, a manly man will get his hands dirty. He doesn't worry about gloves. But you know, whatever it is, it's nice to be able to work on something dirty or sort of work on some grease and be able to kind of just rip the gloves off and move on to something else, especially if you can't wash your hands right away. So this is definitely, I mean, if you can see some of the pictures there, a lot of uses that you really, if you use your imagination, that you could use these gloves for. But given this is a sword channel, guys, this is what I use my gloves for. Now, these particular gloves here are called Cpperhead gloves, and it's a really nice box. I got to tell you, the owners are a two-brother team. Really dynamite guys. They have a factory in Long Island. They're grew from pretty much nothing. They're doing really well for themselves. They're distributing to many different places and states now. They're growing and growing and growing. But they got a really good product at a really good price. And I love the artwork. I mean, look at the artwork that he puts into all his boxes. I mean, they're pretty freaking badass. Okay, these are Cpperhead. These are the orange, and they're actually called industrial use only, not for medical use. 8mm raised diamond texture. That's what I was talking about. They're orange nitro and ambidextrous, obviously, 100 gloves per box. And they're powder free, which is cool. So you don't have that powdery residue that you're going to leave on the blade. That's my favorite thing about these as well. The other brand from Unisafe that I like is also, it's called Pitbull. I actually use these already with my Huawei. Pitbull gloves, these are black gloves. These are also very good textured, very high grip, really high durability gloves, high stretch factor. Highly recommend Pitbull and Cpperhead gloves from Unisafe. But they have a lot of different brands that you can choose from. So yeah, guys, this is a short one. Just wanted to show you the latex gloves I use and my recommendation to using latex gloves when you're handling your very, you know, can be temperamental, high carbon steel blades. Because of that hard carbon content, they are prone to rust. And being able to just kind of just pick up the blade and handle the blade, display the blade, inspect the blade with your bare hands without having to have like a freaking napkin and holding it from the suka and all that, and also being able to sharpen and doing all this stuff and the maintenance, taking it apart that you can do by wearing the gloves, I think is a big use. And you can notice there's oil on my gloves because there is oil on the blade. And you know what? I'm just going to put this back into the saya, and I don't have to worry about wiping it down again. So I find a lot of use out of it, guys. But I wanted to share this with you. I think the gloves are definitely useful and definitely a necessity when you're working with high carbon steel blades. And especially if you're in the habit of really maintaining your blades, taking care of your blades, taking it apart, and doing all the stuff that I spoke to you about. But don't forget, these gloves can be used for pretty much any industrial, hard use, industrial use, any dirty jobs that you just want to basically keep your hands dirty, rip them off, and just kind of move on to something else without having to worry about washing them all the time. So this is a short one, guys. That's all I got for you, okay? I brought you my latex gloves, okay? That's for the purpose of this video. I'll see you on my next video, guys. Hope all is well. Much love and respect to you all. Joe, Steel Forge and Fire, signing out. Also, let me know what you like about if you like the intro. New intro I put in. Let me know what you think about it. Have a good one, guys. Later.